Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Storage Closet review. My name is Kiki, and the fall off has finally fallen upon the ears of the public after 10 something, I don't know, years of waiting. The fall off is finally out. The people have listened to it, and I have listened to it 3 times. I listened to it 3 times, you guys. And you want to know why? Because I know that there are going to be like coal miners that watch this video and or probably are gonna get like 3 seconds into the video and then say I'm just hating or something like that. I don't know. But I want to say up front that I listened to this album multiple times. By the way, this album is 104 minutes, okay? I listened to it multiple times so that I could come to a very, very fair conclusion, okay? This is allegedly and for entertainment purposes his last album. And I want to be very, very fair. I don't want to just be like, I don't want people to think that just because I don't like Cole as a person, that I'm going to unfairly judge his music. Okay. Of course, everybody has some amount of bias, but I feel like the opinions that I'm going to give in here, I feel like the criticisms are going to be fair. Okay. And I feel like the rating is also going to be fair. Now, before we get started with my actual personal review, okay, um, before I start this review, I wanted to go into all of the places where coal miners linger so that I could get a general consensus among the coal fans of like what they personally, as a collective saw as an album, okay? What the general consensus amongst the coal miners was of the album because I don't make my reviews for the fans of the people or necessarily the haters either. I make my reviews for the people that they don't really know if they want have the time to go through something or not. And if this is just something that they want to take into consideration when they're deciding whether or not an album that's 104 minutes is worth their time, at least to skim through it, okay? So, and when I say I went to all of the places on the internet where the Cole fans linger, what I mean is like hip hop channels ran by white people and the J. Cole subreddit. That's pretty much what I mean. And according to them, it's a 10 out of 10 classic, no skips, da 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 da. Right? Um, so after listening to it 3 times, that's 312 minutes. Okay. I don't see how a reasonable person could listen to this all the way through and come to the conclusion that it is a 10 out of 10 classic. I don't, okay? That doesn't mean that I think the album is terrible, but let's just a classic. Let's just maybe it's a classic for Cole fans, okay? But okay, I just want to throw it out there. So if you were expecting me to say, so if you were gonna wait until the end for me to say it's a 10 out of 10 classic, you got my answer at least on that. You can make your exit if you so please. You can still stick around if you want, of course, but I'm not gonna give it a 10 out of 10 classic. Okay. So with that being said, let's get started with the review. Now, the first song, okay, well, there's an intro actually. Okay, there's an intro. They listen to country music. Okay, it's really a skit. It's niggas listening to country music, and then they just talking, chitty chatting, and then they get shot. Okay, fun intro, cool, right? That's called 29 intro or something. The first song is 2-6, and I'm gonna be honest. This song was a very strong start. It was a strong start. I heard this. I was like, okay, this is the type of energy Cole is on. Now, the album is split into 2 discs where disc 1 is supposed to be him younger and then disc 2 is supposed to be him now, I suppose. Um this was this was some hunger. The song was fine. All right? The song was fine. I'm going to give it. I'm going to say this song was pretty good. 2-6 was a very strong start. Now, the next song, Safety, this is where I immediately was like, okay, never mind. That was a fluke, okay? Safety, if I was to compare it to other songs, I would say it's sort of a combination of "Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst" and Auntie's Diaries, okay? Auntie Diaries. Okay, so when the song first started, when I got to the first 2 verses, I thought it was pretty good. It's sort of like, the homies is calling him. He, touring the world, successful. He ain't been back home. He don't really keep in touch with his people, and they kind of like calling to update him and stuff like that. Talking about people dying, and it's just one of those things where if you've ever experienced something like this, where you have traveled far from home for work, or you moved or whatever it is, and then there's all this stuff that's still going on back where you're from, and it's like life is continuing without you, in a sense. I've been through there when I was in the military. It happens. I've had many people that I know that died while I was in the military. I missed funerals, birthdays, births, weddings, all kinds of things that I missed because shit just happens. You travel, you go across the world, you miss a lot of things. Okay? But then the final verse. Oh, also there was like a line in there. I think it was in the second verse. Where the person calling him says, "I got a daughter now. Her mama put on your songs to calm her down." I got a daughter now. Her mama put on your songs to calm her down. He's never beating the lullaby accusations. But the final verse is about either a a feminine gay man or possibly a trans woman. I'm not totally sure based on how the story was told and the perspective that it's told from. Now, here's the interesting thing about this verse is that I feel like Cole is trying to make some form of a commentary, but it's from the perspective of somebody who's like never met a queer person in their life. Like I really feel like Cole has never met a queer person ever. Like he's just never come in contact with one. He doesn't have any queer friends, anything like that. Because this was very odd. Another thing that I feel like he does a lot is he tries to share his point of view through the point of view of other people. So instead of just straight up saying what he personally thinks about something, he will use like a conversation with somebody else to say the thing that he wants to say. Now, I'm not sure if I'm not quite sure what he was actually trying to get by with this. If he was saying that like, oh man, our gay friend or trans friend died. I'll just say our queer friend um died from AIDS. Which, first of all, I don't think this person exists because I don't think that Cole has any queer friends or has had any queer friends ever. But well, you have to invent a queer person that died of AIDS specifically. They died of AIDS, really, Cole? Okay. Um, he uses the term. Okay, this is a bar. He says he when I guess the queer friend went to college, and it said he was wilding with fruity types, dick in the booty types, and he was dressing in drag. Now, the dressing in drag line, I'm not sure if he's saying this from the perspective of somebody that's ignorant about queer people, which he is, and he shouldn't be trying to make any commentary on it when he don't know what he's talking about. Um, or if this is like a trans person. Like I don't know if it's a trans person or just genuinely like a feminine gay man. I don't know. Okay. But they died of AIDS, of course, because that's the gay people disease. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what he was trying to do this. I don't know if it's supposed to make up for all the weird transphobic bars that he's had over the course of his career. But this don't do it for me personally. If you're trans, tell me what you think. Or if you're just queer in general, tell me what you think about um that. So the next song, "Run a Train." Okay, I'm gonna be honest, when I first heard this song, I busted out laughing. I was not expecting non-auto-tuned Future. Yes, Future. What a very interesting choice for feature on your final album. Future. I wasn't expecting non-auto-tuned Future to, like, immediately coming in screaming, "Fuck do you know about my past? Fuck do you know about my pain?" I wasn't expecting that. And when I first heard it, I was laughing. Okay, I definitely laughed when I first heard it. But you know what? It grew on me. I will definitely say that Future's portion of the song grew on me because it's just like, what's going on? You know, it's like it's funny, but it's hard. I don't know. I like it now. I didn't like it when I first heard it, but I like it now. Okay, I like Future's portion. By the second disc, I'll be honest, I was definitely wanting. I was like, where did Future go? Just put in a random Future feature, please, because the second disc, we'll get there. Um, and then there was also a line in this song where he's talking about like gang violence and stuff, and he says stopping this violence is like bringing the Gaza Strip peace. Okay. Um, I've seen people sharing this bar as if this was some like supremely woke moment from Cole, but he didn't say anything. I've literally seen like channels on my like homepage like sharing this bar like it's some crazy woke shit. Like, oh my god, he just said Gaza Strip. I'm sorry. Are you guys really that easily impressed? Like that's all it took was for him to just mention the phrase. And that was good enough. Like, wow. He didn't give any opinion at all on, on what's going on. He gave zero opinion. He just said, "Damn, war is crazy." That's enough for y'all? Okay. By the way, I just want to stress that he literally didn't say anything else. That was it. That was all he said. He didn't there was no additional like he didn't say no free Palestine, nothing like that. He just said, "Damn, war is going on in Gaza, y'all, and it's crazy." That's not good enough for me. I'm sorry. But they'd be really easily impressed, I guess. Um and I feel like that alone speaks to me about how Cole has really not been that conscious this whole time. If that was the thing that made his fans like, "Oh my god, he said Gaza Strip, y'all. W King Cole." Okay. Next song, Poor Thing. This song 5, all right? I think it's like 2 beat switches in this joint. This thing's pretty good, actually. You know, the final verse I found very, very interesting because it's like I don't know if he's talking to a type of person or if he's talking to a specific person, okay? But he's talking about fighting people. He talking about he talking about fake gangsters. He talking about people making up their past and hanging out with gangsters when they don't even know how that life go. They talking about getting tattoos and shit to make up an image for yourself. And then he says, whoever the fuck he talking to, he said, I want to fight you. He said, I want to throw hands. He said, don't bring no guns neither. Be fair. We throwing motherfucking hands in this bitch. I don't know. I don't know what that was about. He was very upset. But you know what? I fuck with this song. Poor Thing, 5. Certified 5. All right. Bunt Road Blues. That's not the Bunts Road Blues, I think is the name. I like typed it wrong or autocorrect fucked me up. This is called Bunts Road Blues. Yes, Bunts Road Blues. Um, the instrumental feels like an instrumental that Jid would be rapping on. And Future is back. I actually don't know what this song is about. I'm just gonna be very upfront. I don't know what the topic of this song is. Um, but it's a very Jid-esque instrumental. Future came back, and he's singing Usher, and he's also still no auto-tune. And then I was genuinely gonna skip this song until Tim's showed up, okay? Tim's stopped me from skipping the song, but I didn't really know what was going on here. Okay, so who the fuck is you? This song 5. Who the fuck is you is 5. All right, and the beat switch is pretty good. Okay, I've given Cole 3 5s. Okay, 3 so far. We're only on disc 1. I think that's where they end though. No, I think there's 2 more. Um, drum and bass. Okay. I don't know if y'all ever heard that song that's like, I might slide onto your block with intelligence. Like that song, you know what? I might just kind of put them side by side if I feel like it.
I might slide up to your block with intelligence. I'm a genius with the Glock, there's some relevance.
Niggas talk that drum and bass, fuck you talking about. So you better know your place, stay inside cause it ain't safe.
But the song like straight up sounds like that song. You know, took his chain, took his rocks, took his sediments. Except he's like, it's a little bit slower. He's like, niggas told that drum and bass, what you talking about? You know? I think the beat is pretty good. I like the beat of the song. But the end of the song is kind of odd because he's talking about like a woman that he was hitting on or something. Like he like after he was famous, he like linked up with some chick. And I feel like he was married by this time. Unless he talking about his wife. I don't know. I don't know. Next song, The Let Out. Okay. You either gonna love this song or you gonna hate this song. Okay. I will say that I appreciate the experimentation because I've never heard Cole make a song like this before. I appreciate the experimentation. There's acoustic guitars. He is singing. Okay. He is singing. And it's pretty much a song about like going back home after he got famous and like either getting set up or being paranoid about getting set up or something like that. He is singing. Me personally, I was not a fan of the song, but I think this is one of those like, oh man, this song is so different for Cole. I fucking love it. Da da da. Or it's either like, wow, he's really trying to sing here, and I'm not really fucking with it like that. So this one is kind of, it might go either way for you depending on what kind of music you like. So me personally, I didn't like it. Me personally, okay. Now, Bombs in the Ville / Hit the Gas, that was straight skip. I'm sorry. Straight skip. It sounds like a Cash Cobain throwaway. The drums sound like the drums from Fantasy by Ludacris and Shawnna. This song was straight skip. Sorry. It's like R&B. He's singing. Okay. Lonely at the Top. This song is lame. Okay. I think that this song was lame because the song is pretty much him saying like, I wish that like I just want to re-inspire the people that inspired me when I was coming up and da da da. But it seemed like all the people I looked up to, like they don't even want to make no fucking music no more, and that all their music is fucking garbage. Like, damn, you just gonna shit on Nas like that? Anyway, but it's kind of interesting that he would say that because it's like you're quitting your job. Like, how are you gonna talk about like, man, I wish that the people I grew up with then listening to were still inspired to make music. And it's like you aren't even inspiring to make music. So what are you talking about other people for? Anyway, I don't know how he's trying to inspire people to make music, but I don't think whatever he's doing is not working, okay? Now, we're on disc 2 now. This is the first track on disc 2. It's called 39 Intro. Future is back for some reason. I have heard, or in the J. Cole, in the coal miner spaces, okay, in the coal mines, I have seen multiple people say that this is the best song on the album. And I have to heavily disagree. This sounds like a bootleg Tyler the Creator song. And this nigga literally called himself the half black messiah, which I find very interesting because it seems like I don't feel like he's really ever mentioned that he was biracial. And he does it 3 times on side B. Like on side disc 39, I think on disc 39, he does it 3 times, just out of nowhere. He's just like, by the way, everybody, I'm half white. Everybody, I want to let y'all know, I'm half white, okay? I don't know if this is one of those things that was inspired by the beef, was for him to say this, because I don't know if he listened to Not Like Us and then he took it the wrong way, or he was looking at the narrative on the internet of people saying that Not Like Us was because Drake was half black, but that's not even true. Um, and he was just inspired to be like, I'm a member of the culture and I'm half white. Okay, everybody, hello. My name is Jermaine Cole and I'm half white, everybody. I don't know why he has to let us know like multiple times. Like, Cole am become Logic. Cole am become Logic, okay? I don't know. Half Black Messiah is fucking crazy though. The Fall Off is inevitable. That's the next track. Uh this is the song that he had released first. It was disc 2, track 2. The one where he's like rapping his life in reverse or whatever. I feel like this song is very overrated. And not only is it overrated, but it does not really, in my mind, fit into the concept of the album. Okay? The concept of the album is like, this is me as like, my point of views from when I was younger versus my point of views now, or whatever. This song doesn't really fit anywhere, honestly. Honestly feel like this song was a writing exercise. Like, he was just like, I want to see if I could write this, and then he loved it so much he just put it on the album. I honestly think this could have gone on the mixtape or whatever, because it don't really fit into the concept of the album unless Cole fans are gonna come out of nowhere and be like, well, actually, this is on the album because it tells you that if you listen to the album backwards, that he's not actually ending his career. He's actually restarting his career from the beginning, and he's gonna start rapping like he's hungry again. And it's like his career is a circle, and he's just gonna start over with a clean slate. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't feel like this song really fit on the album. And it's not that great either. Like, as like a piece of writing in general, I suppose so. Just like a display of lyricism, fine. Fine. But like, as just like a song fitting into the concept, I don't really feel like it go here. So, yeah. The Villist. This one's very boring. And as soon as he said they all gonna respect the mulatto, I skipped the song. I skipped it. I skipped the song. Honestly, this is why people can't take biracial seriously. They can't. It's really difficult. Lotto is like the only person that's holding it out for y'all. I'm sorry. If you biracial, you gotta talk to your biracial brothers and sisters, because y'all, this is really, really difficult to take y'all seriously. It's so hard. When you got people like Logic and Drake and Cole running around, and Cole, I mean, and Logic is not even biracial, by the way. But just when you got people like them running around, it's so difficult. It's so difficult. Okay. I'm honestly about getting to a point where I'm not even gonna like fucking support biracials anymore. I might even have to cut Lotto off, but I like Lotto. And I might have to cut off Kalani. I like Kalani. That's my future wife. Okay, anyways. Next song, Old Dog. This song fine. Fine. Alright, the song's good. Okay? But there's like a part in there where he says something like, I heard he said I heard as in bleep, like it was taken out. I heard was talking shit. Well, fuck you too. Who's talking shit, Cole? Who's talking shit? Cole, let us know who was talking shit. And the reason why I asked that is because, listen, it's your last album. Get bold. Why are you taking stuff out? Like, you ain't gonna reply to nobody if they say something to you. Just say they name on the album. It's okay. You already said it. Why you bleep it out? Leave it in there. Okay, you don't gotta. It ain't gonna be no bad press or nothing. The album is already out. But he said something, and he took their name out. I don't know who he was talking to. The chorus has sort of like a ode to both T.I. and P.D. Pablo. The that's just all my nigga know. But then like also the P.D. Pablo song where it's like, take your shirt off, throw it in a circle, whatever. I've seen people get the T.I. reference, but I've seen multiple people miss the P.D. Pablo reference, which is actually kind of funny because he literally says in the song that that he was referencing P.D. Pablo in the chorus. He says something like Like, shout out to Don P. Pablo, he said that line way before me, and people just like maybe it's I don't know if, like, it's because 24s was, like, so like, it was super big, and then, like, the P. Pablo song was, like, very North Carolina focused. I don't know, cause I honestly didn't know if that song existed until I was, like, 20 years old, and I had some friends from North Carolina that played me that song, so maybe it's because it didn't get outside the region, I don't know. But he literally said in the song that he was referencing Petey Pablo. He also has a line in here where he says something like, "I just got out my record deal. I'm fresh up out of slavery," which is very odd when you are like like letting us know consistently that you are half white. It just something about that rubbed me the wrong way. All right. Something about him doing that rubbed me the wrong way. But if you just ignore that, which is like part of the chorus, unfortunately, um, it's a good song. I like Old Dog. It's a pretty good song. Okay. Life Sentence. This was a skip for me. It was a skip for me. He got a Pac reference at the way beginning. This gonna be the realest shit I ever wrote. And then he got the DMX reference, the DMX interpolation in the chorus. Um it's an I Love My Wife song. Me personally, I just don't like J. Cole love songs. You are not Wale. I'm sorry. Wale makes some good love songs. J. Cole, I don't think so. Sorry. I'd rather go to Wale. Man Up Above is the next song. Okay. So this song samples Never Would Have Made It by Marvin Sapp. And like immediately after that Never Would Have Made It sample, he is talking about hoes and cocaine. And then he does like a Jenny from the Block interpolation, which is like what is going on. And then like I guess it's supposed to be okay because at the end of the song his friend finds Jesus. I don't know. I don't feel like he should have interpolated this song. Sorry. This was a skip for me. Next song, I Love Her Again. Okay, this is another one of the coal miners faves. This is another one that's popping off in the coal mines. Um this song is like almost comically misogynistic. I actually like kind of like this song because I think it's like just from like a comedic perspective, even though that's not what was intended. I actually kind of like the song. He said hip hop was on OnlyFans, twerking with a BBL and face tattoos and popping perks. Okay. Um, he basically said, hip hop was a cougar. She was a thoughtified cougar. I guess that hip hop is Tracy Ellis Ross or something. And the amount of people that I've seen, okay, I'm telling you, I've been in the coal mines. Um, the amount of people I've seen that like don't know what this song is playing off of is kind of shocking. I've seen people compare this song to Gloria by Kendrick. I've seen people compare this song to I Gave You Power by Nas. I've seen people compare this song to Me and My Bitch. I've seen people compare this song to like literally every song where something, an object or a concept is personified, except I Used to Love Her by Common, which is literally what this song is copying. Like, I don't know. I don't know if the song is too old or something. I don't know. But the Common sample didn't give it away that that's what he was doing. He was playing off of I Used to Love Her. Unless maybe people just don't know. Maybe people just don't know the song. I don't know. But I just found it odd that people was like trying to like compare the song to like everything but the song that it was copying. So, give Common his flowers, please, because he was the person that wrote the personification of hip hop song. But yeah, the message I got from this song was hip hop is Tracy Ellis Ross. Okay, next song, What If? I feel like this was the song that proved to me that Cole fans are easily impressed because I've seen a lot of people being like, "Oh my god, this song brought a tear to my eye. I was crying when I heard this. He literally rapped from the perspective of Tupac and Biggie. Oh my god, I'm literally crying real tears. It's crazy." And okay. So here's the thing that was kind of odd about the song to me is that he tries to frame it as if like Tupac and Biggie would still be alive if they didn't beef with each other. He literally wrote a fan fiction of Pac and Big writing apology letters to each other. It's a fan fiction where Pac and Big write apology letters to each other. This is not, listen, I did, once again, I'm going to reiterate this. My dislike of Cole has nothing to do with the apology. I do not give a fuck about the apology, but I understand that a lot of people on the internet did, and I also understand just by listening to the music, I have a strange feeling that Cole might be chronically online, and I don't know if this was supposed to be his way of like coping with the people that were not happy with the apology. And this was him being like, I mean, like, I don't want to get involved in beef because if either Pac or Big was the bigger person, they would still be alive. And it's like, that's literally not true because Pac, okay, Big probably died as a direct result of Pac dying, but Pac didn't die over East Coast West Coast beef. So like, why are you making it seem like? And also, the Pac and Big is like an outlier unless you're from Chicago. That's like a whole other thing. Pac and Big is an outlier where in the sense that like most beefs do not result in death. They might result in career suicide, but even that's extreme. You know, that I don't see, this is not the coping mechanism that I think that he should have gone with. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I wasn't a huge fan of the song personally. I thought it was odd. Maybe he could have had King Von and Quando Rondo write apology letters to each other. I don't know, but this was not it for me. Sorry. Next song, Quick Stop. I think that if you are a J. Cole fan, if you are a coal miner, you will love this song. I think that if you're a coal miner, this might be top 5 for you because you probably see yourself as the person in the song, and that's totally okay. If you listen to the song and you were like, man, if I met Cole, I would do all this stuff. That's amazing. Okay. Now, for my personal opinion, I cannot get out of my mind that he wrote fan fiction about somebody being excited to meet him. Not that it hasn't happened, of course. I'm sure that there are plenty of people, like plenty of Cole fans that met him and were like, "Oh my god, bro, yeah, I love your music." But it's like the extent that he went to like, you know, it was like, if this happened in real life, as in a fan met J. Cole at the gas station, it probably went more like this. Oh my god, man, are you J. Cole? Yo, I'm a huge fan of you, man. I've been listening to you forever. I've been trying to put my friends on and stuff. It's crazy that you got big dog. Like I've been listening to you. You know, I'm such a huge fan, man. I hope you have a great day, bro. Bye. You know, whatever. That's probably how it went. But he was like, I was listening to you when I was homeless and like I didn't have no fucking food and I put your music on to like make it encouraged me to get a job at McDonald's, and then I had a daughter and I was at McDonald's listening to you. I was working at Fryers, and then now I'm a billionaire. My name is Jeff Bezos and I got here because of you, Cole. Like that's kind of what he made it seem like. And it's like, yes, music makes a difference in people's lives. I get that. You know, I understand that. I feel it. Music has made a difference in my life too. But it's like, man, you wrote a fan fiction about somebody that was that excited to meet you and said all those things. Okay, that's all. If you love the song, I understand. I'll say that. If you hear it and you love it, I get it. Okay, now the next song. It's called "And the Whole World Is the Ville." This song kind of feels like the last song on JID's album, the God Don't Like Ugly album, or God Does Like Ugly album. It kind of feels like the last song on that album where he was like thanking his fans and shit like that. He literally says the line, "The hardest nigga on the mic got a white mother." Is he talking about Eminem? I don't think he's talking about Drake. There's no way. Maybe he's talking about Lotto? No. Doja Cat? No, there's no fucking way. Kendrick don't got a white mom. I don't know who he talking about. But that was just a very interesting line. So the song is just, it's for the fans. And the whole world is the village for the fans. And the very last song, okay, the album technically ends at "and the whole world is the Ville." But there's a bonus track right at the end, which I suppose this is what he wanted to be the last thing that we heard from him. It's called Ocean Way. And it is literally Cole singing off key as fuck. Like, he is singing hella off key and just going for it. And yeah, that's how he wanted to end. That's what he wanted the last thing that we heard of him to be. That's what he wanted that to be. That's it. Okay? He wanted us to hear that and then be like, "Wow, beautiful, beautiful ending." Um so that's that. That's it. That's the end of the album. We made it through 104 minutes and like 30. Okay? Now that I've listened to it 3 times, I don't think this is a classic. I honestly don't even think this is the best album in his discography. I still think that Forest Hills Drive is better. I would probably put this second place in his discography. It's not horrible. It's not horrible. It's just that here's how I think that he could have executed the concept better. Okay? I felt like he should have made it just one disc, 16 tracks. Okay? Shrink it down because there's a lot of filler songs and there's a lot of unnecessary singing. Okay? Shrink it to 16 tracks and he can basically execute the same concept just over the course of 16 tracks because there was a lot of songs on this album that did not need to be there. There was a lot of filler material, a lot of songs that were just not that good, even if they weren't filler. A lot of songs that didn't even really fit in with the concept, but the bones are there. Like I can definitely I can hear the bones. Okay? I feel like the concept is underneath a lot of stuff. It's in there. It's just that it's super bloated. It's super bloated and it's just I don't know. It's a little I feel like the concept was a little bit sloppily done. So, maybe I would have a because here's the thing. It would be different if he dropped this and then made us take it as like individual tracks. Like just take it for what it is. But the fact that he explicitly attached a concept to it, it kind of makes it so that you have to listen to it in the context of the concept. So grading on intent versus execution, I'm going to give this album a 7.5 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I know there's definitely going to be some people that's like, wow, that's way too high. Call it so fucking trash. That was so boring. I would definitely give it like a 3. And there's going to be some people that's like, what the fuck? There was not a fucking skip on there. It's a 10 out of 10 classic. Honestly, 7.5 is a little too generous. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah. Yeah. After listening to it 3 times. Yeah, 7 out of 10. I'm sorry. I took a half point off. I'm sorry. 7 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. And that's going to be the final score for now. When it came out, I was expecting, genuinely, I'm not even kidding you, I was expecting an 8 out of 10. And I was very, very prepared to hear an 8 out of 10 and I was totally going to be okay with giving it an 8 out of 10. But it's like a 7, honestly. I'm about to be for real. It's not it's a little bit above average. I would give it a 7. Yeah, on the Kextonic scale. Yeah. And don't fuck with me, y'all. I heard it 3 times, okay? I heard it. I wanted to make sure that my opinion was genuinely like I gave it a fair shot. Okay, I did not listen to 312 minutes of Cole for somebody to come in here call me a fucking hater. All right, I gave it a fair shake, and honestly, the score I think is fair too. So 7 out of 10. Maybe it. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me. But honestly, after listening to it a third time, I actually liked some tracks less. I know that sounds crazy, but I actually liked some tracks less after hearing it a third time. So yeah, that's where I am, and I feel like a huge contributor to it being a 7 instead of like a 7.5 or 8 is because it feels like it tapers off. Like it feels like if you like listen to it all the way through, it notably gets like more boring after a certain point. It gets more boring. The production choices are very safe for Cole. Most of them are, except for like the 5 songs that I thought were pretty good. And then that one with the let out, which I did not think was good, but I'm sure people will like it. So I'm going to go with 7 out of 10. That's my final score. 7 out of 10 for the fall off. And I'm also taking into consideration that this is his final album. Okay? It's not just any old willy-nilly album. If it was a willy-nilly J. Cole album, I probably would have given it a 7.5. But this is his final album, and this is what he wanted us to be left with. 7 out of 10. So that's my final score. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me what you think. Are you going to listen to it? Have you listened to it? What score would you give it personally? You know, if you think it's a 10 out of 10, I think that's really cool for you. Me personally, this ain't no classic, nothing. It's just like a pretty decent album. That's really it. It's a pretty decent album. I'll give it that. So, yeah, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Leave it in the comments. If you hated this video, leave a middle finger emoji. And as always, you are cute, including you, Jermaine. He's not gonna watch this video, but I'm just saying, you know, Jermaine, you and your half black messiah, half white self, mulatto self are cute too, I guess. Even though I don't fuck with you. Yeah, you're cute, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye.
These niggas think I'm lesser for my complexion. Before I'm done, they all gon' respect the mulatto.